Yeah, so basically we just sit here silently for a minute
Yeah.
to overcome
Yeah.
to wait for the lag. Then we'll start talking after in like a minute from now. Then about a minute, 2 minutes from now, I'll click start, and then it'll because yeah, there's the delay and then there's the lag, which
Yeah.
compounds a little
Right.
bit. But the lag doesn't add delay; it just makes us like this part will get cut out probably.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool then. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I get what you.
Yeah. Yeah, just the interaction between OBS and YouTube is a little weird.
I've been using Choice Band Cinderace lately, and it's really fun.
That does sound fun.
Especially when you it's so funny how many people lead Dragapult into the team I've built to then get sucker punched.
CB Sucker Punch is wild. I would not be packing
Yeah.
that on my CB Ace.
No, it's one of those things where it's more for the priority, and it's really good into like D Knight, not D Knight, Pult.
Yeah, no, I mean I believe you. It's just like
I think I
yeah,
run.
I just like a CB. I don't generally like choice items plus Sucker Punch. Like I mean I'll run it on a Rage and Bolt, but not.
Yeah.
I mean I'd run
mean,
it on
I
a
have-
King Gambit. I want to try Scarf King Gambit at some point. That seems pretty hilarious.
It seems fun. I mean, I have my teams. I have a lot of things that can switch in. So say like if the sucker punch doesn't work, then I have a lot of things I can just like direct switch in rather.
Yeah, good defensive backbone is important for sure.
Yeah.
And
I've gotten a lot better at team building as well. I think because the teams that I've been using lately have actually been working. So
that's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so probably we're at the point where the lag will not have cut this out. So let's start talking about the tournament.
Yeah, no
Hello,
worries.
guys. So I'm here today with Dr. Bognor, and yeah, this is the first Bognor tour. He's been an incredible help to the community, helped me a lot with thumbnails, done some animations for the channel, tons of involvement with the Discord, moderation help. There's so yeah, basically just this is the number one guy in the community.
Oh,
so
bro.
thank you very much.
Bro, I'm blushing.
And,
I'm blushing, bro. I'm blushing.
and this tournament is his rule set, so I'll let him explain, what the rules are behind this tournament and why.
Yeah. So first of all, hey guys, I'm happy to be here. I'm really excited to be on the Pinker Tour, co-commentating. But the rules essentially, I wanted some rules that weren't too crazy because this is the first time we've like done anything like this. And I kind of wanted to set a precedent for takeovers in general for whether we have like guests or like featured people or community members that have done a lot, whatever. And so I wanted to keep it simple, but at the same time interesting. So the rules essentially are just Gen 9 OU in terms of the actual battle mechanics. But the rules are more to do with the team building, and the team building is that I like to call it rainbow team building, where you have to have one Pokemon from each tier, not counting Ubers. So one from OU, one from UU, etc., all the way down to ZU, and you can replace any of those mons with an NFE if you really like to. That was something that was important that people kept asking, so I thought I'd clarify that.
And Little
But
Cup
yeah,
as well.
no,
I'm
it should
sure.
be really interesting. Yeah, if you want to bring a little cup, I mean, if you want to do the fear strat, go for it. But it's yeah, this should be fun. I'm like really, really, really looking forward to this. It's really cool, and I'm looking forward to. More importantly, I'm looking forward to like the future takeover tours as well. That we might be getting, or that people want to sort
actually,
of look
some
into.
fun news. We have we don't have a date set or a rule set yet, but Jimothy and I were talking about it, and Jimothy Cool is down to do a takeover tour, and he's thinking probably a rule set like ADV, but with Gen 9 OU, Terra mechanics and move sets, and so that could be really cool. But
That
today,
sounds really cool.
today's the focus is on this rainbow team building, which I think is a good way of putting it. But it can be exploited, or not exploited, but I guess strategized, you could say. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that's pretty cool. So here I've got open the statistics, so the usage of Pokemon, and you can use one.
It's pretty interesting.
It is. So we see at the most used is Walking Wake, and this one makes a lot of sense. There are two archetypes that really don't so much mind this rainbow, and the first one is Sun. So if we look at this, Walking Wake being, the strongest Sun abuser, but then we see Torkoal and ZU, Ninetales and ZU. So already one of your like really bad slots gets used up on a Sunset, a real Sunsetter that people use in OU.
Yeah.
Then you've got things like Venusaur in PU, Scovillain in ZU. Like really.
Scovillain is really fun idea. I've always thought Scovillain is like a really like sort of overlooked Pokemon, but obviously it is bad. Like, I'm not saying it's not bad, but it's such a cool concept. Like,
we do have a Scovillain in the tournament. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I honestly think it would be a huge mistake to not have at least one Scovillain in this tournament.
But
yeah, and you've got like NUBL, like Lilligant, Hisui. So just a lot of Sun Slitherwing as your RU pick. Photosynthesis Pokemon, like you can actually make an almost completely OU Sun team. You'll lose your Hatterene, Tusk, and Raging Bolt, but you can make a really solid Sun team with these restrictions. So we see a lot of Walking Wake, which makes sense.
I'm hoping that, like, I know that the likelihood is that either the one of the main two, and we'll obviously talk about the other one in a second, but one of the main two archetypes is probably going to win. And it's not so much, I don't mind that. I'm just really looking forward to see what teams, whether they win or whether they're successful or not, just the teams in general that we have. Because we have, for example, like, we have a Misty Terrain team, according to this. We only have one Trick Room team, apparently, which I don't know whether is surprising or, I mean, if you think about the Trick Room setters throughout the rank, then it kind of does make sense. But I just thought that this kind of format, this kind of team building, just leads itself to a lot of fun strats. So although I'm aware that there are a lot of sort of meta picks that that there's a meta that has kind of formed, I'm really looking forward to seeing the sort of off meta of this off meta tournament, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I think this will be really interesting to see. Let's, before we, I guess, get into the cooler, or not cooler, less popular strategies, let's talk about that second big one. And that second one is stall. So I know you guys don't...
Woohoo!
Well, woo, yeah! Everybody clap for that. So
everybody loves a bit of stall.
So in
I've seen that, I think Chariard, the guy that won with stall, I think twice. I think he's in the tourney as well.
Great.
I mean, if it turns out he's the Misty Terrain one, then I'll be very, very pleasantly surprised. But I'm almost sure that he will almost certainly be in that stall category.
Yeah, so here's the trouble, right, guys? A lot of stall Pokemon, a lot of good stall Pokemon are in lower tiers. So the main problem being Blissey and UU. So you get kind of two OU Pokemon, basically, if you use stall. And then in OU, you probably either pick Gliscor, Alomomola, or Dondozo. I would say Dondozo is the best pick there, but you've
also got Chansey as well, which now, because obviously you have the sort of...
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably.
Do you know what I mean? You have that mandatory like different tiers, so you could take... For example, Blissey is in UU at the moment, I think. So you could say, well, I don't want to use my UU slot, but basically I can have Blissey 2.0 and take up a different slot. So then you have a higher tier available. So I'm interested to see if we have more Blisseys or more Chanseys, but obviously we can see
an interesting idea. I think we have 2 Chanseys and we have 5 Blisseys, so more Blisseys. Oh my god, 5 Blisseys. But yeah, so you can do that. You can do the Blissey route as a UU pick. You can do Chansey as an RU pick, and then get another UU pick like Toxapex or what's the other big stall Pokemon in UU? Clodsire, Pex or Clodsire is pretty nice. Yeah. And then there are just a lot of stall Pokemon. Like, I mean, there's Quagsire you can use in lower tiers. There's like Amoonguss is seen sometimes. Vileplume has even been seen for dealing with Wellspring. So generally, like, you can make a stall team of low tiers and it'll work almost as well as a stall team made of top tiers.
You've got Mandibuzz as well, not to forget.
Yeah, Mandibuzz, that's definitely a good one. I guess maybe we'll see a Houndstone. I don't know. Let me check if there's a Houndstone in the store. we have 2 Houndstones.
Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting. I wonder if we'll see things like, so for example, this is like an example. I know there are other mons, but you have things like Enamorus, right? So Enamorus in its OU sort of in its non-Therian form, its incarnate form, is obviously really really strong. But obviously you have the Therian form, which is all the way down in RU BL. Okay, but I'm really interested to see those type of interactions in terms of the team building, where you've got one version of a Pokemon that's super strong and another one that isn't as strong, but still has that sort of move set or whatever. So I'm interested to see how many people have sort of swapped that version of that Pokemon, if that makes sense. So swap to the worst version of a really good Pokemon just so they can have that slot spare. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but if that makes sense.
So, actually, a quick question about that. Some people are asking, because both Sunsetters are ZU, how is anyone using Scovillain if their Sunsetters are in that same tier? Can you, instead of doing an NU and a ZU, do just 2 ZUs?
No. So
You can't. Okay, so this Scovillain person does not have a drought Pokemon.
No, so well, I've been told we'll find out, and if it happens, it happens. It's one of those things where we can't really help it. But I have said that you do have to have one. You can't double up on. It has to be rainbow for the sake of it, right? It's not just. Otherwise, I just say, oh well, you have to use ZU Mons or something, right?
Yeah.
So it's rainbow for a reason, so that you have to use the different tiers. So what's probably happened is you've got the Sunsetters, but there are manual Sunsetters that can do a pretty decent job. So. I mean, obviously, it's a massive risk to do that, and it's nowhere near as efficient. But you have manual Sunsetters. I mean, I've seen someone before use Raging Bolt as a Sunsetter because it then just activates its own thing, and the same with things like Electric Terrain and things like that. You have, because obviously for Electric Terrain, if you wanted to run that, you literally just have I can't remember its name, the little bug, right?
Yeah.
That's all you have. Right.
Okay, I gotta say, I think in this case, you said you got questions about NFPs. I think we're gonna see a Vulpix on this Scovillain team. That's my prediction.
That's very true, because I did say it wasn't originally part of the rules, but then I sort of thought, yeah, that's fine. Where if you, for example, have a ZU Mon, but you want to bring an NFE as well, you can swap it with one of the higher ranks. Because I felt like that was fair, because obviously you have the ZU Mon, and then. If you want to bring something that's, statistically worse, then, you can swap it with one that's statistically better if you really like to. I feel like that was fair. So that could be interesting. That's an interesting point, actually.
Yeah. So that's I'm going to be really curious to see that. And I will say, I think manual setting is... So with very few exceptions, manual setting is absolutely garbage, and it's among the worst strategies ever. I will say,
of course,
in some really low tiers... Because they'll just be rain. Sometimes you'll see Kingdra down in ZU in some previous generations, or some actual good rain Pokemon, and then you'll get a Volbeat, and you'll click your Prankster Rain Dance, and rain will just be broken. In some really low tiers with really overpowered rain setters, because Drought, Drizzle got banned. Sometimes manual rain or sun is good.
Well, sometimes it's the only thing if you really want to do a weather team, it's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
In certain tiers.
I'd say terrain, never good.
No. No. But I was more speaking on behalf of just sort of theoretically.
Oh yeah.
You can do that kind of thing.
They could do it. I very much hope they don't. Oh, we've got Pinkacross but evil in the is that
I saw that.
Trishula?
Yeah, I saw that. I have no idea who that is. It should say next to their name who it is. I don't know if we'll say it on the bracket, though. It should say it on the entry statistics. Bear with me 1 second. Right, look.
There's also Syncacross. Ocean Gamer 3. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Syncacross Evil Pinkacross. No, it's not. It's literally. It says, "What is your?" It's Grim Jow Jagger Jacquez. Right.
Okay. I think that's got to be Trishula in disguise, because I don't see Trishula in the tour.
Well, on a separate YouTube account, separate Discord account.
I think so. That's what I suspect.
Yeah.
Calamity. Yeah, there's no way they're not in the tournament. It's
I'm
gotta be
assuming
Trishula.
all these J's are meant to be in like Spanish, so it wouldn't be Grim Joe Jaegers, it would be Grim Yo Jaeger Yaquez or something. I don't even know. That's like okay, bro. That's one hell of a name.
Yeah, who knows? Wow. Okay, well, this this is I agree with a lot of the buys I'm seeing. A lot of these people have performed well in the past and probably deserve the buy.
Yeah. I mean, some of the buys I'm not sure, but I think the remaining buys were probably just randomly generated. Like just because of the way that the numbers work.
Someone asked, does Wingull get Drizzle? No, it does not. That'd be funny though. Actually, I do wonder. Was there much rain in this tournament? Well, oh no, Pelipper's UUBL. So if there is rain, it's Politoed for sure. Let's see.
Yeah. Politoad's fun. Just if it was VGC, we'd be seeing that. I'm not sure how familiar with VGC you are, but the like Wolfie, the Perish Trap team, that'd be fun.
Okay, we got one Pelipper, but 3 Politoed, which I'm happy to see. You guys are.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Okay, I think we've begun.
Wait, 1 Pelipper and 3 Politoed?
Yeah, that's correct.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
Oh, so there's only 3 rain teams, which means someone's doubled up.
Well, wouldn't that mean there are 4 rain teams?
No, there's apparently 3 rain teams according to the archetypes list. If you look, it says there's 7 sun, 3 rain. So either that's been miscalculated, yeah, or someone's doubled up. But yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at this game 1 here. I immediately see a stall team, an Orthworm. Yeah, see, this is the problem. Like, they get to like 2000s in I mean, maybe not, but like a stall team that looks like this. Yamuko, your OU pick is Wellspring, and you immediately face a Vileplume stall, like round 1. Come on, God. Like that's.
I just want to shout out to Nolpak, the Orthworm pick. I'm obviously going to be a fan of that. Interesting.
Also, guys, just sorry to interrupt again. Quick clarification. We have a huge delay, so our commentary doesn't influence the way you play. So don't be like, whoa, the game started, get in the game. Or, don't be like, don't worry. We've got it under control. There's just a huge delay. It's not lag. It's intentional, so we don't mess up the game with our commentary. Okay, that out of the way, as you were saying.
Yeah. Just for the when in between rounds at the end of this round, I've got a funny story for all you guys to listen to, and all the community helpers have already seen it, but it's something that I just have to share. So that we won't just be it'll be fun between rounds as well. We'll have a fun interest.
Okay, this stall game. Oh, sorry, go for it.
Yeah. No, I was about to say the same thing as you did.
Let's move on.
Trying to look for something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna. I mean, there's a Heracross, so this could end up being hype. But I want to see, or we'll keep it open in the back. But let's move on to this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna open them in tabs.
There's this really cool game we've got, which seems to be a sun versus grassy terrain hyper offense. It's MH Pex Gripper versus Raven Eye KSR.
Yeah, I'm on that now. Right, so we're at the start. So it's Vikavolt Webs, I'm assuming, right? At the start. Got a Alolan Ninetales. Oh, the Thwacky pick. I do like the Thwacky pick. It's something that's been happening in UU is that people have been, because obviously Rillaboom got banned to UUBL. People have been picking Thwacky quite a lot, apparently, which is interesting. I quite like that.
Yeah, Thwacky, I've seen 2 already, which is 2 more than I thought I'd see in this tournament.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is pretty funny, and the shiny, so they kind of are mirroring each other there. No ghost type though from MH Pex Gripper, so this is probably going to be the end of Webs, unless this freezes. Nope. There you go. There you have it. Yeah, you gotta have a ghost type.
You've got to have like some kind of spin blocker. Like in this tournament, I'd understand if it was a bad spin blocker, but like you've got to learn to prioritize this kind of thing. Like when you're team building, if you're building a Webs team, you should be using one of those slots. You should pretty much be prioritizing one of those slots, for for that spin blocker, because it's one of the most, if you without that spin blocker, your webs basically are just free real estate for any spinner or defogger or whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's it's a questionable choice, but we see the Reuniclus come out.
I mean, it's not like you're stuck for spin blockers throughout the tiers. Like,
No, there are plenty of ghost types in low tiers.
Yeah, I am quite confused. Like, obviously, they're not all built
yeah.
equal.
I guess just
I'm gonna have a look at some of these other. I mean, obviously, it's not a regular building practice, so it's not like we can like super.
I mean, it's webs with a ghost type. That goes across tiers and generations.
Yeah. Oh, we've got another Orthworm. We've got a shiny Orthworm, Toshi Melonhead versus Al3 Chug 4.
Yeah,
or Ale Chugger, I think.
I think for the sake of viewing experience, let's try to stick with one battle.
Yeah, so I'm just sort of in the background, just looking at the different teams that are currently playing.
Sure. I'll stay in on this one then. We've got the Reuniclus going for Psychic Noise, doing a lot of damage.
Oh my god, I found the Scovillain.
You found it.
And it's not on a Sun team.
Subseed, maybe?
Maybe it's Rajesh 183 versus Gliscor Arc. I found. Did we say that there was more than one Scovillain or just one?
No, just one.
I think there was just one. Yeah, well, we found it. We found the Scovillain. So
wow.
That's something that's interesting, and it's not on the Sun team, which is something that we completely did not expect. So, I mean that solves your issue then. The issue where you thought about. We were confused about the ZU pick on a Sun team, but obviously that is the ZU pick and it's not on the Sun team. Although he is against a Sun team, or they are against a Sun team, so interesting.
Okay, so yeah, we got Hawlucha here looking like it's about to just sweep Raven's entire team. It's about to just sweep,
yeah.
This looks pretty rough. I actually kind of disagree with that acrobatics there in Excadrill. I think you should have Swords Danced again.
You should have Swords Danced, yeah. 100%. I mean, Excadrill can do some mean damage, but I still think just you take.
Yeah, not really. I mean, Ironhead's doing what, like 30 with the defense boost? That's not much to worry about. Wow, booster speed Screamtail is interesting. We see the Terra Ground into the SD again, but see, that did a lot more. And also, unlike how it would have gone with Excadrill, now you're going to, I think, die to First Impression. Maybe not with the defense boost and one extra turn of Grassy Terrain Healing, but questionable playing, honestly. Pretty questionable.
Yeah, I mean, it's still resisted with the defense boost, like you said, but I'm
not going into Slitherwing. That's super weird. I don't know what you're doing here.
Do they maybe not have First Impression on the Slitherwing?
I guess not. Wow, this is okay.
Wow, that was just that was yeah. I mean, I after my performance in the last tournament, I don't really think I have the the right to really comment on anything. But
these teams look sick. I must admit.
Which ones?
I'm just looking at this team with a Scyther on it, and I'm like, what is this? But we have another really good-looking stall team from Pink Storks. But let's go. Let's see how this Scovillain does. I really want to check.
Yeah, so it's the Rajesh game.
Yeah, so I've restarted here. So I'm starting off. We see screens and then Skarmory. So this could be manual Scovillain. I feel like Subseed is what I would run if I were forced to run a Scovillain.
Yeah. But remember that no one here has been forced to run any Pokemon. You have picked it.
Yeah, you have.
But I respect it, man. I respect the Scovillain pick. I think that's awesome.
I don't. I respect people that use strong Pokemon.
Yeah. In a tournament like this, though, it's all about having fun. So it's one of those things where
it's half about having fun. It's half about winning. And Scovillain is just not the way to do it. And it's looking like Rajesh is getting clowned on here. I mean, it seems like there's no answer to hazards, and it's just going to be a very slow path to. I'm guessing this is a Dragon Tail Goodra. Oh, Toxic? That's even worse. Yeah, this just looks devastating.
Yeah, this might be that Toxic is not.
Torkoal. I wonder if this Sylveon has Weather Ball. It's a pretty interesting tech. But Sylveon, you know,
Yeah.
Fairy plus Fire coverage, particularly
I've been
strong,
using-
is really
yeah.
good.
Weather Ball is something that I never was really bothered about because I never really did weather teams, and then I started using Weather Ball with Galarian Slowking. As in not on Galarian Slowking, but as sort of for when it chillies and stuff, and it's actually really good. So it's on things like Curem and Raging Bolt or whatever.
Okay, this
it
game
gives
kind of
you-
just got turned on its head. I'm
decent.
looking at this +2 Terra Flying Thunderous.
Oh.
Looking like it's kind of poised to do really well here, and that Gudra should have gone for Toxic, but instead it just went for Knockoff there, which
Yeah,
doesn't
that
really
might have
do
been a
anything.
throw.
Like that
Whether they
Knockoff-
thought that they were just gonna get, maybe they didn't think they'd survive, but you still have to go for it just for the low roll and stuff. Like,
I mean, this could just be a Specs Darkrai and blow this Thunderous up, but it's looking pretty scary. Now, I will say, I think Ice Beam into First Impression will do it,
yeah.
but
But even so, that the Thunderous is still getting some really good value. Like,
yeah. No, the knockoff was not good. Like, Thunderous is not a Pokemon that's going to be, you know, coming in many, many times. You'd much rather just... Yeah, also, in chat we get confirmation that the guy from earlier was gambling no first impression, but it's like, you didn't need to gamble, you could have just SD'd on the drill, is my
Yeah.
criticism.
yeah, no, I see that. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the Darkrai is just going to take it out. I wonder if that confirms Specs, or if this thing's just frailer than I thought. So that would be a pretty
Yeah,
high
it's-
roll. It would be a high
Why
roll,
did-
but
why
not
would you-
impossible.
Why would you stay in as Crocodile there? That's my point.
So it looks like the Scovillain team will not be lasting, is not long for
No.
this world. What?
Okay,
DT
I massively respect that. I will not lie.
well,
that
that,
is-
that went
Like,
great.
well, I mean, it did nothing. It was terrible. But the
It did way
one
worse than
thing I was
nothing.
the one thing that I was going to sort of say about the there being a Scovillain is that I was going to highly doubt that they were going to use the signature move, but no, they had it. They did have that signature move, which is really awesome. Yeah, there goes the GGs.
Yeah,
the GGs are there in chat.
Okay, that game's pretty much over. Let's check
Yeah,
up
the
on
forfeit
that
comes
stall
through.
game from the beginning. So, okay, let's see what happened in our absence. Delphox started clicking Psyshock on Blissey.
Psyshock,
You
yeah.
gotta respect that. Let's skip ahead. Okay, Heracross comes out. It gets knocked off as it enters, loses its Flame Orb. Wow.
Oh,
That-
that's really bad.
That is
Yeah.
really bad, yeah. And then it's just going to, yeah, this is Vileplume Walling, Moonlight, yup. Let's see. Heracross does manage to get poisoned by Gliscor and goes for Terra Fighting Close Combat. Almost doing enough to two-shot Altaria. Okay, yeah, but this, it's just going to die to toxic damage. I think the Heracross was mismanaged here.
That I'm assuming that hurts
Oh
you
my
on
gosh.
like multiple levels, right?
Not
the
in
mismanagement of
particular.
Heracross.
I mean, it's like, realistically,
it's not a shiny one, so
I think from the way I've seen, based on the way they're playing this, I think Nullpack deserves to win this one. I think they've
Yeah.
been making better
and they bought the
decisions.
Orthworm as well. I think that they deserve to win for that as well.
Yeah, like realistically, there's a Ditto, Heracross, and a Wellspring against a stall team and Hazards. Like, you really should not be getting cooked. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, and like you can spread knockoff with. I mean, the Ogerpon is doing the knockoff thing now, but I just think it's too late. Like, you had
Yeah.
everything, but you just didn't use it fast enough. Oh, and there's the defog.
Like, something that-
That's rough.
Oh,
Toxic there was
something that
crazy
I've,
greedy.
did they toxic come sort of a little bit behind? Hold on. Skip turn.
Oh, just going for a Toxic on Altaria, and it's like, it's a natural cure Pokemon.
Oh, it's natural cure, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what you're doing there.
Yeah, the GGs.
Yeah. Okay, what shall we take
Yeah,
a look
exactly.
at next?
That's what it have actually in this first round.
Quite a few going on.
I think they're all the games, yeah. Because
Okay.
I think we've stopped doing the whole round 0 thing, and now it's just round 1, and then you get a skip to round 2. So, we've got
It looks like the stall teams are doing really well. That's It's kind of what I'm seeing so far.
Oh, that's really interesting team. That's a really cool team.
Which one?
If you look at the hybrid versus UU25XI, I think it's the latest one on there.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
It's
Wow.
really cool. The
Knuckle stack is underrated.
And the Hooper as well, like the non. That's really cool. Like I like the way that they figured that out.
Yeah, there's some
Moltres
interesting
is the OU
picks
pick.
here. That's underrated, and I guess, well, with
Like,
how
it's
popular
basically
Wellspring
just
is as an
switches into
OU
it.
choice, probably good in this tournament.
Yeah. I think it's underrated in general though. Like it switches into so many like common threats, OU threats. Like it's really good into Tusk, really good into Wellspring. It's really good. Like I just think it's a really good mon. And with the Rocky helmet and the sort of different strats you can do.
Yeah,
be
definitely.
a
I've got
pretty
to
good
build
wall.
Chestnut. It's pretty
Yeah,
solid. But
yeah,
let's
you
take a
really
look
do.
at this game more specifically. We've got Tentacruel here, trying to keep Hazards off the
Tentacruel's
field. So
yeah.
Hazard advantage, but I feel like if your Pineapple set rocks and then Tentacruel's just dead. So I feel like that was not a good exchange for Hybrid.
Yeah. Tentacruel in this tournament, like in this specific matchup, is something that you need to be really like careful about, like wasting as well, because Tentacruel looks really good here. So obviously it's poison type, so it helps deal with the Monkey Dory, even though obviously it's psychic. But I just mean Tentacruel just looks really good. I think it's the only form of hazard control as well. So
Well, that is a good stun spore coming off there. Knuckle stack coming in makes sense. Also, we've got a donation. We got £2.
I think
from
I'd rather
Mr.
have-
S, saying wishing you a good stream for the 6th time. Thank you, Mr. S.
that's awesome. But this is the 7th stream, so which one have you missed, bro? This is the 7th tournament. What
And there we go. We have someone who figured out
He
ghost
said
types
stream,
plus
not
sticky
tournament.
web.
So, yeah. I always forget that Hooper's is Ghost Psychic, not Psychic Dark. Oh, but it. Oh, what?
Okay, hold up.
What?
I'm gonna
Why
try
would you-
something quickly, because apparently stream is being super laggy. So I'm going to have to disconnect
Hello?
you for a minute, or mute. Just mute this, but I'll be back soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Stream is yeah, you're lagging. Yeah, no worries. I don't think you guys. I wouldn't know anyway because of the delay. But whether he's muted me or just himself, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me? Hello?
That's my issue. Technical difficulties, please stand by.
Okay. Bognor, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself and try to fix this Wi-Fi thing. You're in charge of commentary, and I'll just
Right,
shift
can
my
they still
screen.
hear me, yeah?
They can still hear you, yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, right now, I'm looking at this game, and I'm not sure what's on Pinker's screen right now. So I've basically got to wait till it catches up. Oh no, okay, so it's just happened. So you guys just saw what happened here, and the Hooper Terra ghosted. I mean, not Terra ghosted, Terra fighting, which meant that it was no longer good for spin blocking. Literally, just as we were saying about the spin blocking, it was really weird, and it Terra blasted into a Moltres. I'm not sure what that was, whether that was like a big read or whatever, but I think when you're in a situation like this, you really don't need to be making reads. Like, you're ahead of your opponent here, like, as the Hooper player. You've got your webs and rocks up. Like, it's their sort of their prerogative to come in and deal with that. Like, you are ahead and like making weird reads like that. Which I can only assume it must have been that, because why else would you do that? Like, if you assumed that they were going to stay in, you would not do that, right? So, really weird call from the Hooper player there. It's just very confusing. I'm still trying to work it out. Why would you do that? And then the Terra Ice Jolteon. Yeah. I'm genuinely.
Okay, so can you hear me? Yeah, so I think stream ended because of lag. This is so freaking annoying. I don't know if we're back on now. Yeah, this is a fiasco. Okay, looks like maybe we are. Okay, well, they can't hear you right now. I'm gonna bring you back.
Right.
Okay, now you're back.
Okay, awesome. But could they hear me before when you left? I don't.
I
even know
believe
what
so.
happened.
Yeah.
Right. I was just
but okay.
telling them how. Well, let's see if it's like. Are we sure that it's working now? This is.
No, we're not. I mean, let's see. I think it's frozen on the YouTube side.
Okay, we can hear you. Oh well, but I'm.
No,
I'm
they're
watching
talking
it right
way,
now,
way long ago.
It's.
Yeah, there's okay. So unfortunately, there's absolutely nothing I can do about this. My Wi-Fi is terrible. And yeah, I mean,
Right.
there's absolutely zero. It's the best Wi-Fi that's available to me in my area, and it's god awful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite lucky because obviously I've just moved house, but the only Wi-Fi that we can get is fiber Wi-Fi, which is like really quick, but it takes forever for them to come and install it. So once it's actually here, great. But right now I'm currently running off of my the mobile data on my phone, which is very funny, but it's working. So
okay, well, I'm gonna just hope we're streaming. I don't know if we are or not.
Yeah.
Um